The Steam Machine could revolutionize how we think about gaming in the living room. It's just too bad you can't buy one today. At least, well, we can't. But while we're still waiting for one to launch, we decided we're gonna make this video. You could be watching this in a world where the Steam Machine has found its way into every home. However, if you're still living in a world without the GameCube, there is a way that you can get close to the Steam Machine experience, and we're gonna show you how to do that. Right here, right now on Robeytech, after a word from our sponsor.
This video is brought to you by our official Robeytech build mat. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll probably recognize it. We love these things. They're super thick and durable, and they're absolutely huge in size, measuring at 5.5 millimeters thick and 24 by 48 inches wide. This one that we have right here, man, this has been in the studio for like 4 years, and it's still holding up great, no problem. We've also included all sorts of useful graphics showing different PC form factor sizes, including schematic diagrams and connectors you'll encounter probably during your PC build. Not to mention, there's plenty of open space for screw and tool organization. We designed it like this so no matter what skill level of builder you are, it could be a helpful tool for pretty much everyone. Now, you can find these build mats for sale on our Newegg store, and it's a great way to support us directly if you enjoy the content we make. Thank you so much for your support, and let's get back to the video. What is it about the Steam Machine that had the collective internet and us at the Robeytech team losing our minds over it when it was actually announced? At its core, the Steam Machine is a compact mini PC, much like this one, but theirs was engineered by Valve to bring the magical SteamOS experience from the handheld to the desktop to the living room, or heck, anywhere you have a display for that matter. But it's also very much a PC capable of productivity work, content creation, and more. Now, Valve has tried this in the past, but its reception was pretty dang cold. But that was before SteamOS was really a thing. When you combine PC hardware with an operating system that gets you into games quickly, just like on a Steam Deck, what we're looking at is console levels of simplicity in a small form factor with PC-grade power. While we still don't know the official price for the Steam Machine, our goal for this video isn't to go punch for punch with Valve, it's to show you how you can build a Steam Machine of your own. With that in mind though, let's talk about shopping. What do you actually need to build a Steam Machine? Well, let's take a look at Valve's spec sheet for the official Steam Machine for some guidance. This is where things get a little vague. We get details like Zen 4 for CPU cores and RDNA 3 compute units for GPU, but no real specifics. The good news is that even with this vagueness, we have a starting point because those names are attached to the Ryzen and Radeon RX 7000 series of CPUs and GPUs. But thanks to SteamOS 3.8, we actually have some flexibility, and more even coming with the beta, which adds NVIDIA and Intel. So we can actually use parts outside of those families, but for this video, we're not gonna go too far off-road for this one. Now remember that SteamOS was built for the Steam Deck, which was built around a custom AMD chip. So we're gonna stick with an all AMD build, and really any CPU in the Ryzen 7000 to 9000 series families and any GPU in the RX 7000 or 9000 series families should actually work. Now this means you can go super lean with a spec that closely matches the Steam Machine, or you could do what I did and slap in a 9800X3D and an RX 9070 XT into yours. But for now, we would recommend sticking with an AMD CPU and GPU since we know that that's what is officially supported. And who knows, if we start seeing SteamOS rolling out to devices like the MSI Claw, we might experiment with other configurations. Let us know by either telling us in the comments, which we'd love to see, or hitting those like, subscribe, and notification bell buttons. Now that you have an idea of what parts you need, what do you need to know about the installation? Well, we actually created a handy step-by-step guide over at robeytech.com that has all of the links for everything we're going to be talking about. So if you'd like to have a written guide to go along with our visual one, we've got you covered. Now the first thing you're going to need right here is an 8 gig USB drive. This can be a new drive or one that you don't mind wiping. This is going to serve as your installation media. The second thing you're going to need is downloading SteamOS. This is where our site is going to help you out. If you go to the actual SteamOS download page, you'll end up downloading SteamOS version 3.7.7, which will get you a lot more hassle and black screens than 3.8. Now clicking on the link on our site is going to bring up a directory with file names that look sketchy, but you want to download the file named this specifically. The final piece to the puzzle is a utility to create your installer media. If you're setting things up with Windows like we did, we would recommend a utility called Rufus. If you're setting this up with macOS, the Balena Etcher app is recommended by Valve. Either way, you can find the link to download both of these over on our website. Oh, and make sure you extract the zip file before you try to use it to create your installer media.
With your drive plugged in and your OS image ready, open your installer, select the disk image you want to use to create your installer media, and set it to work. This is going to take several minutes, so you can do whatever you want to do. We opted to play some Ball X Pit while we waited. Now, before you plug in your installer media into your Steam machine, you need to boot it into your BIOS and do a couple of things. The first thing you're going to want to disable is Secure Boot. This is a critical step because this will actually keep SteamOS from actually booting. Also, it's worth noting that if you ever clear your CMOS or update your BIOS, you're going to want to go back into the security settings and disable Secure Boot since it's on by default. Now, once you've done that, go ahead and plug in your USB drive, save and exit your BIOS, and you're ready for the next step. Now, if for some reason your system doesn't automatically start the installation process, you might need to go back into your BIOS and set up the boot priority order to favor your USB drive. Now, the next part is going to look super foreign and scary if you're not used to watching old school prompts pop up on your screen or you've never watched The Matrix. You may have a minute or two of black screens as your system starts going through the loader. Once all of those lines pass and you're entered The Matrix, congratulations, you've made it to Arch Linux. Here you'll find an icon labeled Wipe Device and Install SteamOS. Double click on that icon and it'll give you a warning prompt about erasing your drive. This is fine, go ahead and just do it. Again, this is going to take a little bit of time. Your system will restart a couple of times, then run through another screen with code, and then you should be in SteamOS. Now you'll need to connect it to your network to download updates. It'll reboot one more time, then prompt you to log into Steam either manually or you can use SteamGuard from your phone. And then with that, congratulations, you're in and you have a Steam machine set up. Almost. But we're not quite done yet. Remember, SteamOS was designed for handhelds with more hardware limitations than we even have with the most basic Steam machine setup. So there are a couple of things that we're going to want to tweak to make sure that your Steam machine is running at its full potential. Now, the first thing you want to do is you're going to want to unlock your resolution. Now, if you're using an Xbox controller, go ahead and hit that Xbox button. If you're using a PlayStation controller, you can hit the PlayStation button. Or if you're using a keyboard, you can hit the Escape key. This will all open up the Options tab on the left side of the screen. From here, you're going to want to find Display under the Settings menu, then uncheck the slider labeled Automatically Set Resolution. This will open up the option to look through a pull-down menu. You may need to take a minute to find the resolution and refresh rate that best matches your display. With that done, the next thing you'll want to do is unlock your frame rates. And this one is a little trickier to find. On the Steam Deck, you'd have the Quick Access menu button, the one with the 3 dots. To access this menu, if you're using a controller, hit the Xbox plus A, or on the PlayStation, hit the PlayStation plus X. If you're using a keyboard, hit Control, Shift, and Tab. This will pull up a menu on the right-hand side of the screen where you'll want to navigate down to the Performance menu. Look for the circle with a lightning bolt in the middle of it. Click the Advanced View option and you'll open up a few toggles that you'll need to play with. First, you want to make sure that Disable Frame Limit is checked on and Allow Screen Tearing is actually enabled. Now, in case you're thinking, Roby, why would I want screen tearing? That sounds awful. Well, the name of the feature isn't necessarily wrong, but it doesn't paint the whole picture of what it's doing. Having this setting off forces VSync to be active. This will actually gate the performance you could be getting out of your system, and we don't necessarily want that. Or maybe you do. The good news is that you can try it on and off and decide for yourself. What we do want, however, is to make sure that variable refresh rate is enabled as well, which is why you're more than likely going to keep VSync off. And now the only thing left to do, guys, is enjoy your Steam machine. But let's say you made it this far, you have all the parts in your cart and you're ready to hit the buy button. Is there anything you should know before you actually do that? Yes. While we just walk you through what seems to be a fairly simple and straightforward process, there's definitely a learning curve that you have to be aware of. Keep in mind, SteamOS is built on Linux, and as cool as some people will tell you that Linux is, if you're someone who just wants to plug things in and have it run without a fuss, building a system around hardware that is not explicitly supported can have its awkward consequences. For example, we tried switching to a beta branch to try out a version of SteamOS that was supposed to offer broader hardware support. It did not support our hardware, and we had to flatten the system and start from zero. This brings up some concerns for future OS updates, but it might just be the price you pay. So if you do not have the patience for that because essentially you're in some ways beta testing, this is not going to be your type of thing. There is also the question of whether or not the titles you want to play on the big screen are actually supported by SteamOS. So to recap, before you buy or build, you should ask yourself the following questions. Number 1, am I willing to learn how to use a new operating system? Number 2, do I have the patience to reset my system if an update breaks it? And number 3, are the games that I'm going to want to play on my TV only okay working on SteamOS? If the answer to all those questions is yes, then you're good to go. But if one of those is causing you to be iffy, you might want to think about this. Overall, here's the deal. If you're someone who loves to tinker, you're willing to learn a new OS, and you're okay dealing with some of those early adopter quirks, building a Steam machine is actually a pretty rad experience. It's been something I've been having a lot of fun with, as are other people on my team. But if you get into the SteamOS experience and discover that it's just not for you, or it doesn't do what you want it to do, the word on the street is that Microsoft is getting ready to roll out the console-like Xbox mode in the coming months. But that's a story for another video. And there you have it, the Robeytech guide on how to build your own Steam machine. Keep in mind the process is probably going to evolve over time, so if you want a more up-to-date walkthrough, head over to robeytech.com/Steam machine step by step. Also, let us know what you think. Did you enjoy this guide? Did you find it helpful? Do you want more content like this? And do you want to see us push what's possible with SteamOS? But let us know in the comments, please, because there's a world of possibilities that we're interested in digging into, but we need your help to know which ones you're interested in. And hey, while you're down there, if you like this video or you learned something from it, we'd love it if you'd hit those like, subscribe, and notification bell buttons. We have a lot more content like this coming here at Robeytech, Robeytech Live, and all of your favorite social media platforms. And hey, if you have questions or want to talk about this video, hop over to our Discord server, discord.gg/Robeytech. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.